How's it rockin', Dween Nation? You're listening to the Dween Sports Podcast. We're about to get underway. But before you give us a listen, we'd love if you could like, comment, subscribe, and share. We are posting weekly sports content, and we want to build up the brand that is Dween Sports. Thank you all, and enjoy.
Welcome in, Dween Nation. This is your host, Justin Pies, alongside Janoah Agudelo, and we got our guest, a returning guest, Brandon Etheridge. Thanks for coming in, man. We are talking college football. Obviously, you can see he is a Georgia man, so he's excited right now as the SEC is collapsing at the seams. What a crazy weekend it was. A handful of games where teams are knocked out of the playoff, almost knocked out of the playoff. But it all leads up to this week, the last week, rivalry weekend. We got games to talk about, and we do it in the best way we know how, as rapid fire. But before we do, I'd like to hear, how is my guest doing today?
Dude, I'm doing great. Feeling great about the SEC. You know, we're in a weird season, but I'm feeling good. I'm excited for this. I'm excited for this playoff year, man. This can be crazy.
And Janny, how you doing, man?
Yo, Dween Nation. Justin, what's up? Brandon, what's good, my boy? I'm going to agree with Brandon right here off the spot, man. The SEC is crazy. I mean, we would have thought that at least we'd get one undefeated team in the SEC. Everybody's got a couple losses there, and not even one loss there, Justin and Brandon. So it's going to be very interesting. We have a crazy, weekend. We have the matchup of the year to say this Saturday night, and that's going to determine a lot of things. Who meets up Georgia in the SEC title game, which is going to determine how these playoffs, go in hand there. We are on the road, Dween Nation, to the college football playoffs. It's going to be a month and a half of just tons and tons of content as we lead on, who's going to be crowned champion. I believe it's on January 20th in Atlanta. So it's going to be a crazy road. So I'd advise all college fans to buckle up and get ready.
Yeah, man. And as an Aggie, I mean, I'm going to be boots on the ground for that game this Saturday. Very excited for the rivalry to come back to College Station. So we're very hyped for that, and the fact that we are still alive in the SEC. If we get the win, we go ahead and play Brandon's Georgia Bulldogs in Atlanta the next week. So season's still alive, even though this past weekend had some chaos, to say the least, with Alabama going down and Ole Miss and A&M lost. But now we're going to discuss what we think rivalry weekend is, how it's going to turn out, and we're going to have rapid fire game picks. And I want to start with our guest to lead us off. You have the list in front of you. Janoah, do you want to time him, see how fast you can get this in? I believe it's 15 matchups for you, Brandon. 15 relevant games on the week. And just tell us when you're ready.
I'm ready to get this. Let's go.
All right, ready? I'll count you down. 3, 2, 1, and go.
All right, so first up, we got Georgia Tech. You already know what I'm going with here. Big rivalry game for us. Not really in matchups, but they play us hard. So I've got Georgia taking the win, but it's gonna be a tough fought game. Michigan, Ohio State all the way. We don't like Michigan around here. Tennessee, Vanderbilt. Man, I'd love to see Vandy do something. Tennessee's coming off of a pretty big loss off of us a couple weeks ago, so I'd be happy if Vandy, showed them what's up. South Carolina, Clemson. I'm going with Clemson on that. Maryland versus Penn State. It's Penn State all the way. Notre Dame, USC. I feel like Notre Dame showed us what they're capable of this weekend playing the Army team. They played hard. They fought for that win, so I'm taking Notre Dame on that one. Auburn versus Bama. Weird matchup. Battle of the land right there. I'm taking Auburn. Bama does not have it this year. Bama's not it. They don't have Saban. They don't have a good record. That's what I'm saying. Miami versus Syracuse. I'm taking Miami. Cam Ward. Need I say more? California, SMU. I'm going to say SMU on this one. Maybe they've got something on them. I think they could do it. Arizona State versus Arizona. We're going with Arizona. I think they've got that. I think they do. I think they're going to fight for that win. It's going to be another big rivalry right there. Arkansas, Mizzou. Woo, Pigs. I think the Pigs are taking that. Washington versus Oregon. I've got Oregon on that one. Kansas State versus Iowa State. I'm going to say Kansas State. Okay. Houston versus BYU. BYU easy. Texas versus A&M. This one's crazy, but I don't like Texas. So I'm going to go side with the Aggies on this one. And I'm going to say Texas A&M takes the win over UT.
All
All
right.
right. So you're at 2 minutes and one, or it was at 2:02. 2:02. 2 minutes, 2 seconds. Not bad. Not bad.
Not bad. All right, we'll move to me, and then we'll do Janoah, and then we'll discuss everything that we just laid out.
For sure. I'll count you down.
All right, go ahead. I'm ready.
Ready? 3, 2, 1, and go.
All right, we got Georgia Tech at Georgia. I'm going to agree with Brandon here. Georgia gets the victory. Michigan at OHIO. Ohio State wins. Tennessee at Vandy. I'm going to go with Vandy getting the upset. I think Tennessee's looking towards the playoffs, and Vandy gets that win to kind of cap off a pretty impressive season. South Carolina at Clemson. I'm going with South Carolina. Maryland at Penn State. Penn State gets the victory. Notre Dame at USC. I'm going with the Fighting Irish. Auburn at Bama. This one's a close game. I just think that I'm going to go with Bama to hold in a close game. Then we got Miami at Syracuse. I'm going with Miami. Their defense showed up last week, in which we had not seen all season. Then we got Cal versus SMU. I'm going with SMU. Arizona State, who is now the lead in the Big 12, versus Arizona. I'm going to go with Arizona State to win. Arkansas versus Missouri. I'm going to go with Mizzou to finish their season with a win. Washington versus Oregon. Oregon gets the dub. Kansas State versus Iowa State. I'm going with Kansas State as well. Houston versus BYU. BYU is now on a 2-game skid, but I'm going to get them to win. And then we end it with Texas versus Texas A&M. And it's got to be the Aggies. Marcel Reed has a defining performance at probably 110,000 people at the stadium, and I'm going to go with the Aggies.
All right, Justin, you're at 1 minute, 25 seconds. 1 minute, 25 seconds.
All right. Oh,
boy. Okay. All right. I'm ready when you are.
All right, I'm going to count you down. 3, 2, 1, let's go.
All right, here we go. We got Georgia and Georgia Tech easily. Give me Bulldogs. Ohio State and Michigan. Give me Ohio State. Vandy and Tennessee. I'm going to go with Tennessee on this one. I know it's a crazy. Give me Tennessee. South Carolina and Clemson. Obviously, give me Clemson. Maryland and Penn State. Give me Penn State. That is my dark horse team to win it all. Penn State. Notre Dame and USC. I'm going to go with Notre Dame. Give me the Fighting Irish. We go to the Iron Bowl there where it's Alabama and Auburn. Give me Alabama. They're home. They're mad from last week's loss. Miami and Syracuse. Obviously, Miami. Cam Ward he's a great quarterback. California and SMU. Give me SMU. They can beat Cal. Arizona State and Arizona. I'll take Arizona State on this one. Arkansas and Missouri. Give me Mizzou here to win here big. Washington versus Oregon. Obviously, give me Oregon. Kansas State and Iowa State. Give me Iowa State on this one. Houston and BYU. I got to take the Cougs. Go Cougs. Let's go Houston. And Texas A&M and Texas. I'm going to have to go with the Aggies here. I love my Longhorns, but we're playing injured, so give me the Aggies.
All right, you got 111. So pretty damn good. Well, okay. Obviously, the discussion on the week is Texas versus Texas A&M. There's obviously, we got a Longhorn guy right here. We got a Georgia fan right there. We got an Aggie fan right here. Now we got fully all Aggies on this one. Brandon, I'm curious though, what is your take on this game? Why is it A&M? Is it just pure Longhorn hatred, or is what else is going on in this game?
It's a mix, pure Longhorn hatred, just because, man, these Longhorns fans, the one sitting down there, I gotta vote against them. But I don't know. They're playing at A&M. Kyle Field is not a place you want to play an away rivalry at. I really think that's going to contribute a lot to the way that this game goes. Kyle gets really loud, so I think that's definitely going to put a hurt on Texas's offense and defense pretty hard. So I've got to go A&M here, man. That's the only option for my brain to pick.
And what you were talking about injuries? What else is going into this, Janoah?
Yeah, Justin. I mean, look, I'm not 100% sure, and I'm not really, as a Longhorn fan, I am not confident that Quinn Ewers is 100% healthy to go into Kyle Field and to pull off. I don't know if this is an upset. I think the Texans are what the Longhorns are what 7 point. Yeah, that's too much there. I mean, at least 2.5 to 3. That's really it for me. With Quinn Ewers, he has not looked good. Last week home in his potential final game at DKR was awful against Kentucky. He had a pretty decent first half, but the second half was awful, Justin. I mean, could have potentially thrown the game away and thrown an interception. Maybe we can get a little bit more into depth on another episode about this matchup there, Justin, for Dewey Nation, but I'm not feeling so hot here going into Kyle Field.
Yeah, no, I mean, I look at it as, gosh, Texas has been riding high, but they haven't had the competition for their victories. I know obviously they played Georgia, but other than that, it's been very. I think I saw a stat like UMass has played more winning record SEC teams this season than Texas has. So there's the competition level there, and it's just I think the last time these two teams met. In football, it was Justin Tucker hitting a game-winning field goal at Kyle Field. So 13 of 12 years of that stained on Aggies' minds. We're gonna come pack and Kyle Field. And so we are gonna definitely discuss this in its own episode. So if you want further in-depth discussion over this, just after this episode, you can go ahead and look. It'll probably be posted. But on the rest of the slate, there's nothing too crazy exciting. I feel like a lot of people are looking at probably South Carolina, Clemson, and Auburn, Alabama. Brandon, what are your takes on kind of both of those games?
South Carolina, Clemson, I don't know. I feel like that's going to be, like you said, there's not much happening this week. But I feel like Clemson's going to come through on that. I don't know that there's going to be a huge fight there. Auburn, Bama, I think that's going to be a pretty good game. That'll probably be the best game aside from Texas versus Texas A&M, just because they're both in Bama. Bama just had a bad loss. Auburn just had a pretty good game. I think Auburn's going to fight hard to take Bama out.
All right, and then Janoah, you said Bama's angry. They're angry for this game, obviously coming off the embarrassing loss to Oklahoma. What is this season in like for Alabama, and what do you grade Kalen DeBoer's first season as Bama's head coach?
Well, I think in this matchup, I think that you're going to get an upset Bama. And, with Auburn, they're kind of riding high and they're a little just content and satisfied. Sorry, Justin, about that, victory, in Jordan-Hare Stadium last week in Auburn. And to grade Kalen DeBoer's, first season, I'm going to give it like a B to B minus. It had some good moments. Sorry, Brandon, but they were able to, put a good amount of points on Georgia and win. But losing last week to Oklahoma, I mean, Justin, I'm almost want to give them a C plus because you know how much I can't stand those Sooners and they suck this year kind of. And I want to give it a B minus. I'm going to give it a B minus. It is a winning record. They are going to potentially make the college football playoffs. Maybe. I mean, the fact that they're ranked 7 there, Justin. I'm not really happy with that. I don't think they deserve 7. To be honest, I think they should deserve maybe like 10 or 11. 7 is, that's, to me, that's just a little too high for Bama in their season. But nonetheless, they do have a good future in Bama. I think Jalen Milroe is a pretty exceptional quarterback. I think he is going to be entering the draft there. So I guess I'm really confident that he can end his last, game there at Bryant-Denny Stadium in Alabama, kind of on a good note. But beating Auburn isn't too impressive, I would say.
Yeah. And okay, past this weekend, obviously it's the last weekend of the regular season of college football, and we'll probably do its own episode by itself, but I'm really curious to get both of your takes on who's going to win the Heisman. Obviously you got Travis Hunter, Ashton Jeanty, I don't know, Dylan Gabriel, Cam Ward. Brandon, who would be your Heisman today?
So this is a hard question because I have 2 picks that I think it's going to go between. That's going to be Jeanty and Travis Hunter. I'm saying I would want Hunter to take it. And not to say Ashton Jeanty's a bad player. He's an amazing player. I think he's definitely deserving of Heisman. But Travis Hunter just has that edge. We have not seen both sides of the ball played like this in a very long time. And Travis Hunter's out there doing it. He's performing every single week. So for me, I would have to give Heisman to Travis Hunter.
Janoah, what do you think?
Justin, this is probably one of the more tighter races I've ever seen. You can make an argument for each of them, but okay, this is an honorable mention. I'm not saying this is my guy before I get into my pick, but I'm going to say Dylan Gabriel has led an undefeated Oregon. He's had a great statistical year there, and Oregon has just looked dominant with him. Obviously, you got to give credit to Dan Lanning and that coaching staff. So Oregon, they're such a great team. Have they been a great team beating a bunch of these, bottom feeder Big Ten and teams that, are not really going to contend. But, Dylan Gabriel, he has passed for 3,000 yards, 22 touchdowns, and 6 picks. So maybe not so much for the Heisman, but just a word to get out there. For me, I'm going to go with Travis Hunter. Obviously, Colorado has made a big jump from where they were last year. He can play both sides of the ball, and he has shown there, Justin, what he can do as a receiver. If you were to ask me what position should Travis Hunter enter as he goes into the NFL, I'm going all day wide receiver. Justin, you and I were big fantasy guys. And he's already hitting 1,000 yards there. And he has 11 touchdowns, so 82 catches there to go along there. And he can play cornerback. This is a cornerback doing this. And so I would like to see Travis Hunter win it. He's a Colorado guy. Colorado has come from the slumps there in college football. And I want to see, a player coached by Deion Sanders. I'm a little biased just because I'm a big Deion Sanders guy. I love Deion Sanders. And so I'm going to go with Travis Hunter.
All right. I think it will be between Hunter and Ashton Genty. I think Gabriel and Cam Ward deserve, some votes in there, but I'm going to lean Genty just because he's got over 2,000 rushing yards, over almost 30 touchdowns on the season. He's got a better, standing, and his team's probably going to make the college football playoff compared to Colorado, who, slipped up last week. But I get it. I feel like players that play both sides of the field need more credit, and he's doing it at a high level on both sides. So I could totally see it. I'm going to lean Genty. I do think Hunter, he's declared for the draft. He's probably going to be the number 1 overall pick, maybe. So he's got that pedigree too. So I'm interested how that unfolds. We'll probably discuss it more. But Dwayne Nation, this is our rapid fire college football game picks for Week 14 rivalry weekend. After this weekend, we're going to start looking at the college football playoff. So we're excited to head in that direction. But thank you guys for listening. Brandon, thanks for being on this pod.
Yes, sir.
If you want to see more of Brandon, he will be here because we got a couple more episodes to hash out some college football with him. So stay tuned, and Janoah, send us out.
Yo, Dwayne Nation, this was our college rapid picks. We have a ton of college content for you guys to watch over. If you don't have much Thanksgiving plans, go ahead and grab some turkey, mac and cheese, gather around the TV, and listen here to Doing Sports here as we got a ton of content for you guys, especially with Brandon with us. It gives us an extra kind of bonus for everybody out there in Dewey Nation. So thank you guys for watching. We love you guys. And as always, peace.
Peace.